The famous vocal cords of Dave Ryan from KDWB, announcing that he is retiring after, I'd have to do the math, how many years? He started there in 1993. Dave Ryan joining us now.
33 years.
That's...
You were in middle school when I started here.
I wasn't, actually. But that makes me feel better, Dave. Thank you so much for having that sort of age optimism on me. No, in 1993, I was working in my first TV job down in Austin, Minnesota. Maybe I was over in Rochester at that time. I don't know. And then I came here in 1999, so packing on the years as well. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Good to see you.
33 years. A lot of people want to know, why now? Why not just keep going? You just seem like the Energizer Bunny of morning radio.
Man, because there's so much that I want to do that doesn't involve getting up at 4:15 in the morning. Yeah. It's one of those things where I want to go. I've never had more than a week off from work in my life. And it's like, man, you live a long time, and it's like, I want to have 2 weeks off. I want to have 3 months off. I got 2 weeks off one time about 10 years ago to Boy Scout camp with my son. And I got back after 2 weeks, and the boss said, you're never allowed to take 2 weeks off ever again. Oh, okay. So we bought an RV last year, and I got, a motorcycle, and I just want to go enjoy these without going, well, got to be back at work in 3 days, got to post some stuff on Instagram, got to do this, whatever. So it was just time. It was like, I'm excited about it, looking forward to it. And it's all positive, and it was just time.
Dave Ryan on the road in an RV with a motorcycle sounds like a reality TV show in the making. Yeah. As you look back at this, what are what's your favorite moments from the show? I mean, it's hard with 33 years. People ask me, what's your favorite interview? And I have to stop and think, because it's just, but as you stop and think about that now and reflect, as you, over the next week and a half, really will relive your career on air with tributes, etc. I mean, what are the things that have really stood out to you the most?
I'll tell you, as you know, Rob, I mean, in this business, we get to do things that most people just don't get to do. We get opportunities that, if you are a chemist at 3M, you have a wonderful life and opportunities, but you don't get some of the opportunities that we might get. I've got to fly not only with the Air Force Thunderbirds, but also with the Navy Blue Angels, for example, on Media Day. And that was amazing. I mean, somebody grew up in an Air Force family to fly with the champions of the Air Force, the Thunderbirds, was amazing. Getting to meet some of the people that, I've grown up watching on TV. We've met pretty much every sitcom star from, the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. We've met so many musicians, been to so many concerts. I'm not a really big celebrity person, but it's kind of fun to meet. Like, when I got to meet Alice from the Brady Bunch, it's like, hey, this is pretty cool. When I get to meet Bobby from the and when I get to meet Mary Ann and Gilligan from, and all these things that most people don't get an opportunity to do. But I have to tell you that the best part of my job is not one specific memory. It's the connection that you realize that you have with people who listen to the radio, because there's such a powerful connection between, even a show like yours. People go, wow, I really connect with this person. And meeting people that listen to the show, they feel like friends. So that's been probably the most special part.
What's been the secret to your longevity there? Is that, feeling ageless on the radio. When you have a music format that is, geared younger, and you age with that and stay younger at the same time. I mean, how do you do that?
I've surrounded myself with great people. I've just been very blessed and very selective in the people that I've wanted to work with. And some were assigned to me, and some I got to choose myself. But I think a lot of what our success is and our longevity is the people that we surround ourselves with. And I've been surrounded by, just some of the most amazing people. that really makes a difference. As I've gotten older, I've never tried to pretend that I was still 25, because there's nothing like, hearing a guy that's your dad's age, pretending that he's 25 years old and loves this music or loves that. And I think people kind of related to that honesty. But honestly, I grew up on a chicken farm. We got up early every day to take care of this or that or this or that. And work ethic was a huge thing. I mean, I tell people, I say 90% of people are lazy, which is true to a degree. All you got to do to be successful is work harder than those 90%, and you can't help but stand out. And there is some truth to that. So, work ethic, thanks Dad and Mom, thanks Chicken Farm, and thanks to the people that I worked with.
When you came here in 1993, I mean, broadcasting is a career where people, a show runs its course and then there's a replacement and something else, and you move to a different market. Did you ever think you were going to be at the same radio station for more than 3 decades?
No way, Rob. I thought if I had a run of 2 or 3 years at KDWB, that would be pretty good. A run of 5 years at any radio station or probably any TV station is respectable. 10 years is like, wow, you've been there a long time. 20 is unheard of, and 33 is like, what? Wait, what? So no, never ever would have expected this. And I really thought that by the time I got to be like 40, I'd be too old to be on the radio. Mm-hmm. But you look at somebody like Johnny Carson was my hero. Mm-hmm. Johnny Carson was 40 years older than me, and I used to watch this guy in high school. So I'm 17 and Johnny Carson's 57. There should have been nothing that made me go, wow, I really like this guy, because he's my dad's age. But I think that Johnny was just relatable no matter what age you were. And I think people just love the authenticity and surrounding myself with people that if they don't relate to me, they relate to, Fallon, they relate to Jenny or Vaunt or Bailey or one of the other many people that are on the show. Yeah,
now I read that you will be inducted into the Hall of Fame here in Minnesota Pavic Museum. How does that hit you?
That is amazing. I mean, I look at some of the people that are up there, like, the Tom Bernards of the world, and, Mick Anselmo, and a lot of them are well known, and some are behind the scenes that you might have never heard of Mick Anselmo, but a huge figure in Twin Cities radio. Frank and Amelia are going to be inducted this year. And it's like, wow, to be among these people who are, just huge. It's like, wow, I would have never counted myself among those people. But what an honor. How humbling is that?
Well, enjoy the next week and a half. I'm sure it'll be full of accolades and memories and probably surprise guests on your show. It should be fun, maybe a bit exhausting, but enjoyable.
For sure, yeah. It's been kind of a surreal day because nobody knew about it until this morning, and now to hear the people who have appreciated the show all these years just means the world to me. So right. Thank you.
Dave Ryan, retiring at KDWB. Next Friday is your last day after 33 years. I'm at 20. Yep. Coming up on 27 years here, so now I got a mark to meet. I got to hit.
6 more years, Rob. 6 more years.
There you go. Dave, congrats on your retirement.
Thank you, my friend.
I appreciate you.